Jinky, and I'm going to be right back because I'm actually going to bring a fan in here. It is so hot. So hot. Big as the toxic community. No, not the toxic community.
All right, so we're into game one. Or sort of. Malphite banned away. I don't know if that's target ban or if somebody's trying to spell something. Malphite typically not considered exactly a power pick. Kaisa, on the other hand, still hasn't been nerfed after the massive hotfix and subsequent buffs they gave her in the next patch. She's fairly busted right now. Aatrox, on the other hand, not busted. However, we did see him play to Potent Effect last week, or on Saturday, actually. Camille, it looks mostly like a top lane pinch from red side, which is that Team Jaggernauts? Alright. So it looks like Team Jaggernauts is trying to pinch the top side carry roles in particular, while Malphite simply banned away for the heck of it, I guess. Katarina is one of those champions that hasn't received the nerf she really deserves. She has a lot of threat in lane and very little that you can do to punish her, as she has no mana and gets really just free damage. And depending on the matchup, of course. Janna picked up a good all-around support and the only one I can play effectively. Though I did win a ranked game with Nami a while back. Anyway, so looking at the mid lane Lux. Now this could either be mid or support Lux. And anybody who's watched the stream for a while knows exactly my opinion on support Lux. It's one of those champions that when you got autofilled from mid lane into the bottom lane and you were like, support? Huh. I know what I'll play. Lux. She has a shield, right? That makes her support. Even though it's kind of a mediocre shield and she doesn't build any support items. Basically, when you're trying to play AP Mage from the bot lane, it very rarely works. AP Mages need a large amount of resources in order to do the kind of one-shotty burst damage. So when you opt into that Mage bot lane, you either have to get fed, roam around the map, and pick up money in some way, shape, or form, or you're really just going to become useless. And that's what I see pretty much every time. Because Lux doesn't offer that much poke in the bot lane. She doesn't do that much burst damage until level 6. So during the early laning phase, she doesn't do a lot for her ADC. But then, you know, so she's kind of just soaking a role there. And it's kind of that irritating, I don't want to play support, so I'm going to play something that's close enough to support so you won't flame me. Anyway, I hate Lux support completely. Why did we jump out, Jake?
Because somebody left. I'm not sure who, but Pretty joined, which is pretty awesome. So, Big Pants. So, Jinky, you can start us up again. But it was due to somebody. I don't know exactly sure who left, but somebody left. And, oh, I think it was Doggy. I think Doggy left. So what they're going to do is they're going to do the same picks and bans, at least for those first handful of picks, which means it should run through fairly quickly. And now we have Pretty. Welcome to the stream. If you're currently on the stream. If not, then we'll see you in a minute. So, we'll get rolling back into it. So can you tell me how I earned 20 champions? Tony. And buy from the shop with blue essence. Get from playing. It's a little more complicated than just as you play, you unlock certain champions. But it is true. As you play, you get blue essence, and your blue essence you're eventually going to use then to buy champions. However, biggest suggestion is going to be playing something like custom games against AI, or even potentially ARAMs. You'll find that in the game's listing, all random, all mid. That will give you some comfortability on a variety of different champions. You can find out what you like to look at. You can find out what you like to play with. There's a bunch of a lot of options there. I like to see some variety, and then you get to feel a little more competent with certain champions and see what play style you like. But if you hang out on the stream, you'll learn a lot about the game because we talk about strategies, we talk about champions, we talk about how they work. So just watching the stream as a whole helps you to learn a lot about the game as well. So thank you for the follow. I appreciate you deciding to stick around. And maybe by watching this game, you'll pick up some cool tips when you play yourself. So.
Mm-hmm. And at least you'll see two energetic, lonely guys yelling at the screens in their respective bedrooms.
Lux support is not a support excuse for just another mage.
I completely agree, Commander C. Completely and wholeheartedly agree. Now let's see what's going to end up being picked up here. We got Teemo and Pantheon. Could this be a Teemo support or perhaps a Teemo top lane with Pantheon mid? No, Ari's probably going to go mid. So it could be Teemo support or Teemo ADC. We've seen both.
Yeah, it's most likely, unless Pantheon switches to be jungle, but he does currently have the Flash Ignite, so it's making me feel like he is planning on going towards that top lane and using his ultimate to move around the map a little bit faster, that we are going to get Sasha Hyena playing the Teemo ADC, which we've seen before, so Xerath is not a support. There's lots of support.
Xerath is an excuse to feed in my ranked games. That is what Xerath is.
Especially when you're playing Jhin. 5th shot, baby. Also, don't really like the right-clicking on the mouse. More used to left-clicking. Yes, you can. If you hit escape in a game, you can edit all the settings. So, did you already talk about Salak picking up the Volibear before I got back from getting a fan?
I have not talked about Salak picking up the Volibear. Volibear, we've talked about this on the last 2 or 3 streams. The changes they gave to him, they added a little bit of CC, and with how the meta shifted around the new mid-laner items, it's really just put him in a very commanding position. So Volibear actually a very potent pick in solo queue and lower elo play because you don't have the team coordination to take him down. Now the Tristana and the Ashe, Vendetta Ressa taking the Ashe and Killer Kung taking the Tristana. Tristana's a little bit more of a reliable ADC as she is a hyperscaler who also has the most possible mobility in the entire game from an ADC perspective. Oh, sorry, long day. Ashe, completely immobile, deals out a decent amount of damage, has the second highest base range of any AD carry, which is really nice for playing the lane bully, and has a decent amount of poke. And finally, we're seeing the top lane rounded out. Jinky Toast taking out that Alawi. I believe we've seen this from him before. Alawi, one of those champions that either feeds or 1v9s.
Yeah, so really quick is interesting, pretty picking up Evelynn, which I love the name and champion combination there, but that means that Teemo's going to be playing in that supportive role. But just glancing across these two teams, I'm seeing a huge advantage so far for Team Jaggernauts. But we'll get into that in just a moment. Let's go ahead and roll through the champions and their players very quickly. We've got for Team Calamity, Bananas, taking Pantheon in the top lane. Sasha Hyena with the support Teemo Ignite going aggressive. Ahela, welcome to the stream. Taking the Ari in the mid lane. Love that champion personally. Killer Kung back for a second time with the Tristana in the AD carry role. And Pretty, new to the stream as well, playing Evelynn in the jungle. Give it away for Team Jaggernauts.
All right, for Team Jaggernauts, we've got Merciful Jesus on the Vygar in the mid lane. Straight Jacket on Janna in the bottom lane support role. We've got Salak on the Volibear, taking that into the jungle. Vendetta Ressa on Ashe in the ADC role. And Jinky Toast rounding it out with Alawi in the top lane.
So the 5v5 from Jaggernauts I'm seeing as being ridiculous because you have Ashe to start things off with a arrow, which is going to be stunning people up, Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Volibear for the follow-up engage running in, Alawi 5-man ulting as well, and in the midst of all of that, you've got Janna's shields and tornadoes causing chaos, and Vigar for the AoE stuns, as well as instantly executing the Tristana, or the Ahri, or the Teemo, or potentially even the Evelynn, depending on how she builds. I think Jaggernauts have a pretty stacked team, but do you think Calamity's lineup can face them and take them on?
Calamity's lineup's a little bit jank, to be honest. The Teemo support, I suppose goes a little bit better with something aggressive that wants to be like Teemo support can work decently with Draven. I was just talking about how terrible Lux is as a support. Probably just as bad, if not worse. Pantheon falls off like a brick pushed off the Empire State Building in about 26.5 minutes. He dominates early game, and unless he builds tank, he becomes pretty much useless in the late game.
The main thing I'm noticing here from Calamity is the fact that Evelynn, who likes to assassinate, is going to be focusing on the, obviously, Ashe or potentially even Vigar, considering that they're one of the fewer squishy members for red team. But that Janna is going to make things difficult between the combination of a shield and a tornado. That could really shut down Evelynn's assassination ability. By the way, what a Twitch. Thank you for the follow. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt too badly. So Tristana has hyper carry potential, but no frontline to speak of in order to give her that buffer zone. And as she does not have even a Guardians type support, Teemo rather than anything else that could help her stay alive, it's going to be very difficult for them to punch through the Volibear and Alawi and the Janna shields to get to the Ashe and the Vigar and kill them off before getting wiped to themselves. So I'm predicting from a compositional advantage, Jaggernauts has the ability to win this. It's their game to lose from a compositional standpoint, but as we know, it always comes down just to straight up execution. Right, and one of the things that I love is that Volibear with that passive is going to have all of those heals. Even Alawi is going to be healing a lot when she's getting some of those tentacle slams down. However, on the side of Team Calamity, true to the name, they've got triple ignites, and those ignites will cut through the healing from the Volibear or the Alawi, and also can use that to finish off some of the squishier members of Vigar. It's the worst thing in the world to see him walking away with 100 health because you didn't put down the ignite and he got the stun off and he ulted you to the face, killed you, and you're just like, so low health. But if they can get those ignites down and stop some of that passive healing or take out some of the squishier members, there's a lot of opportunity for Calamity to outplay Jaggernauts and take a win.
Absolutely, Jake. Let's see. And we're waiting. My screen has not loaded in.
No, it's fine. I get to see some of the fancy skins coming out here. Tango, Evelynn, Rocket Girl, Tristana, Little Devil Teemo, bunch of cool skins. Actually, I have the Dragon Slayer Pantheon skin as well. I love that one. But what I wanted to talk about is for the stream overall, I'm excited to see some of the upcoming things we're going to be doing and working on in the future, because I'm currently working on a transition scene where the logo is going to not only move, but also help in certain transitions and smooth out the overlay switching between different scenes. So that's something that I'm currently working on doing. That's pretty exciting. I'm also looking into working on commissioning someone to create our own XLNC theme music, which will be played in the background of picks and bans, as well as we can use it for other things. If you guys have any highlight plays that you want to show off and use, you can post them in the Discord below. We'd love to see that and start posting on YouTube some of the highlight plays that you guys make. As well as all of these games will be on YouTube as well as Twitch for you to both watch and share with your friends if you did some awesome things. If you don't play that well, don't worry, you can just ignore it. Nobody has to know that it exists. But if you did really well and you want to share it with your friends on Facebook or something, you can do that. Those will be uploaded the next day or two, and then the Facebook page, XLNC Shoutcasting, posts them over the upcoming days, generally about one game a day. So if this game is game number 2, I think it will be posted on Thursday, if I'm correct.
Yeah, interestingly enough, both Killer Kung and Vendetta Ressa have both opted to go for aggressive damage options rather than actually going for the fleet footwork. We find that fleet footwork is just one of those spells that you almost have to have for laning phase. It allows you to play so much more aggressively, and it acts as a buffer to cover over your mistakes. Secondly, with the state of 80 carry right now, lifesteal is like one of the last things that you buy, even behind your armor pen. So, 26 minutes, 46 minutes, like 26 minutes, you're usually getting your triple crit. It'll often be more like 40 minutes before you manage to get a completed lifesteal item. There are many games I've gone through which I haven't gotten a lifesteal item, and the presence of fleet footwork allows me to have just enough lifesteal to get by so that I don't actually have to buy it until late game. I've never seen Evelyn's tango dance before.
Look at that, that's so fancy.
That's actually pretty neat.
The fancy spin, I love it with the little tails as well. True to the name, pretty, being all pretty. Getting some nice spin around, but Devil Timo just sitting there laughing at her. Doesn't want to join in the dance.
You know what else is funny? Pulling your tongue out through your neck.
Yep.
After all the pretty dancing.
You know what else is funny? Pulling your tongue out through your neck.
Pulling your tongue out through your neck. All right, Evelyn. Okay, you were cute and pretty, and now you're just scary. Pretty simple there. So, gonna be the normal start across the map, nothing too fancy. All of the bottom lanes helping out the jungler start on the bottom side of the map, which means they should be towards the top side about the same time. I do believe that Evelyn's initial clear is a little bit faster. However, she's going to take a little bit more damage, whereas Volibear is going to be able to tank up. I've even seen some Volibears use his passive to be able to grant themselves a little extra farm. But in the top lane, the Pantheon doing really good damage to Jinky Toast, forcing Alawi back underneath her turret and going to be already using double potions on that refillable pot for the Alawi in the top lane, as Pantheon started the Corrupting Potion as his first item.
Yeah, that's also going to give him mana back. Pantheon is a notoriously mana-hungry champion. So having that Corrupting Potion would definitely be good for him. Level 2s have been hit in the mid lane, but they have not been tagged in the bot lane. Top lane also has level 2 and is looking toward an all-in. Killer Kung has now ticked level 2. That means they have all-in pressure over the opposing bot lane. And if they really wanted to, they could jump forward and get kills here. Killer Kung.
Pretty good aggressiveness onto Janna. She's going to go down. Vendetta Ressa picking up the first blood. Beautiful play there. Or no, sorry, not Vendetta Ressa. What am I talking about? Straight Jacket going down. And Killer Kung picking up first blood in the bottom lane after a really good play. Moving forward aggressively and getting that grenade down. Finishing off those stacks. Getting the explosion. And even though Vendetta Ressa, or Straight Jacket flashed, Vendetta Ressa flashed. Interesting. After we watched that, the Ashe flashed, but Straight Jacket did not flash, but went down.
Interesting.
I'm not sure why Vendetta Ressa flashed, but Pantheon gonna go in. Oh! Goes down to the minions, but an aggressive flash ignite play picks himself a kill in the top lane. 1-for-1 trade after the minions gonna clear him off due to the low health that he was. We wanted to make sure that both of them went back even. Now, the interesting thing about that is that Alawi Jinky Toast has teleport, and so could teleport back into the lane and start clearing out those minions a lot faster, get the push on. But looks like she's just going to play even with the Pantheon and keep that teleport advantage in the top lane, as Alea gonna take a little bit of damage in the mid lane.
That could possibly mean she's trying to hold on to the teleport for a bot lane TP play later into the game. However, that is all sums down in top lane with the exception of that teleport, and I'm anticipating seeing what's going to go on up there now. Because really at this point in the game is the make or break moment, and junglers really should start moving toward that top side because if they the next kill is really kind of what's going to determine this snowball matchup. Merciful Jesus kind of having his way with the Ari in the mid lane.
In the mid lane, Merciful Jesus is around the corner. However, without Ignite, he's not going to be able to get the kill on that one, but does force the Ari 2 back as they are even farm in that mid.
Yeah, Jinky Toast about to crash a massive wave into Pantheon's tower, and Sasha Hyena just taking a ton of free poke from the non-targeted skill shots from his opposing bot lane. But he is trading back a decent amount of damage. Those blinding darts do work. Really kind of...
Okay, they're going aggressive. Jinky Toast, low health in the top lane. Those double daggers going to be stacking away. Bananas might be able to get this kill with another auto attack, and he does. Cleans it up 2 for 1. Said in the chat, the damage after the end of the game was going to show how well he plays, and now being able to pick up a second kill in the top lane. Traded the first one, but did have that first of those kills, and now being able to pick the second one as well, showing off that he knows the champion really well. He does not allow it. Sonic leaping in, gonna get some good damage onto Vendetta Ressa. Team opening in here as well with the blind, and that's gonna be Killer Comes with a second kill in the bottom lane as Ashe has been shut out from that farm with the blind from the Teemo. Again and again, now down 15 farm, which is only gonna grow after this mini wave crashes.
Indeed. Killer Kung really doing a good job of recognizing when he has the ability to make use of his jumps. And I do like him crashing this last wave into the tower. He didn't quite get it there, but using his abilities, I doubt this is going anywhere.
Not quite going to be able to get the full chase
Oh, wait,
off of the arrow. Oh, the ult chases down and already falls in the mid lane. Pantheon teleporting, ulting into the top lane. Going to get huge amounts of damage, and that's going to be yet another kill. Quickly over to Bananas, throws the spear to finish it off, and with that serrated dirk and boots, he is into the races and running for taking over this game.
And it looks like Pantheon's going bananas in the top lane. I'm sorry I had to do that. Forgive me, chat.
He's getting a little extra gold advantage as well throughout clearing all of these tentacles in the top lane every time that Alawi either is killed or forced to back. So he's like, thanks for the extra minions. I know that they only give 5 gold, but hey, 5 gold 3 times every time Alawi backs still stacks up over time. So Hyena getting ready to put some pain onto Vendetta Ressa, gets the blind down, has not focused on the poison so much, instead just stacking up as many as possible into that Q. Now 3 stacks into that blinding dart for the extra pain on that to slow down Ash's vision to make it that much more difficult for her to farm. In the mid lane, Ari not going to be able to be caught out, just walks right out of the trap that Merciful Jesus tried to set up. Pretty around the corner though. Davey able to get the charm. It is double charms if he can land it. However, the second one is going to land. Merciful Jesus goes down before Tristana could even get there. Roam to the mid lane to try to help out, but it's going to go down. Now Sally moving in onto Bananas, going to get some good damage down. The Bananas man may be cleaned up, and the Volibear gets the credit for that one as a good gank from him in the top lane after Pantheon had blown his stun jump.
Yeah, definitely an excellently timed gank. Volibear taking advantage of the fact that the Pantheon has to play up and aggressive lest he gets outscaled by the Alawi, and taking advantage of that aggressive positioning and the way the wave was frozen, he makes a very good and a guaranteed gank, which is a big deal.
Red buff steal by the Evelyn.
Yeah, Killer Come taking a ton of damage from the minions, and as he does not have fleet footwork, I do believe he does have a potion ticking, so the damage shouldn't stick too hard. However, you do have to be careful about tanking out minion damage.
Well, and the issue for them is not so much the taking of the damage, it's the issue on Team Jaggernauts side. In fact, this Ashe is getting almost no farm, 32 farm to 75, being completely zoned away. Great job again with a lot of games from the Twitch as well, as he is only focused on those blinds. Merciful Jesus taking pretty good damage from mid lane, but that Ari is out of mana. Pantheon ganking in through the mid lane, then be able to stun and pick up a kill as the Vigar tries to get one last E down to finish off the Ari and doesn't land it. So good play by Pantheon, recognizing that he has won his top lane, he's doing really well, may as well trade that into the mid lane and help Ari out as well.
So you know Vigar's E is called Dark Matter, right? So he tried, yeah, Dark Matter.
Okay.
So he tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter.
It isn't dark matter. I suppose. So
I'm very tired, guys. I'm sorry.
That Evelyn pulls here in just a minute, as we do have about 3 minutes. Oh, the Lowy tries to ult, but Pantheon isn't in range. He flashes forward aggressively, gets the ignite down in the bottom lane. Vendetta Wrestle gets some good damage. However, the flash from Killer Kung to save himself. Volibear moving in. Sasha Hyena, very low health, is able to pick up the Teemo. Gonna grab that one as well. The heal from the Janet to keep herself alive. Ari around the corner looking for the charm. Ult across the wall, gets the charm down onto the Janet. Gonna be able to pick up a kill. Now Scylla chasing in onto the Ari. Over the wall. Pretty Coin backs through the turret to chase in. Gets the taunt down onto the Volibear. Has double buffs as well for the slow. Vigar is here. Nice blast, but it's going to put her right into the stun. Flashes forward. Very low health. Gets a little bit of healing, going invisible. Rounding the corner. Moves the direction that the team is not suspecting between the turrets. Heads towards the bush as Killer Kung is going to wait over the wall to see where Salak moves. It looks like Salak is just going to back off. Now there is the Pretty was unable to recall, still staying invisible, hides in the bush. There we go, starts the recall, and no one checked it. It doesn't hurt when you're in that bottom lane to toss a ward down in the bush and see what's going on, especially when somebody may have just been there. However, Killer Kong now in trouble as Salak chases in. Looks like he's not going to get the toss back though, and instead may sacrifice his life. The passive has been started, but one more shot to take him down. The heal used by the Axe saves it for the moment, and Killer Kong is going to be chomped away. The bite goes down, and Volibear cleans up that one. It's in the mid lane. The Vigar are going to fall once again. Ari gets that one this time around, and Ayla is now 1, 2, and 3 in the game.
Yeah, Banana's making excellent use of that ultimate. That's exactly what I was wanting to see him do. Yes, he's one top lane at this point. However, the most important thing now, because Pantheon, regardless of what game he's in, he does... Hold on. Looks like we have another engage.
He's going to be jumping in onto Jinky Toast, who's at 61 farm, 1 and 4, doesn't have any significant items. Starts the ult, gets some tentacle slaps down, but the healing is just not there. Banana's able to curry up. Ari tries to do Pantheon the same favor that he's been doing to her by coming up, but Ayla not going to get there fast enough, just head right back down to the mid lane as Banana starts to work on that turret. Zaylik around the corner may be able to slow that down, but at this point, Calamity is just doing so well.
Indeed, they are, Jake. I did not expect it from a compositional advantage, but as we said beforehand, it has little to do with composition and everything to do with personal execution. Right now, Killer Kung way far ahead, Pantheon way far ahead, and is using his advantage to get the rest of his team ahead, which is what matters, because when his champion falls off...
Alright, flashes forward, gets the charm down, and the ignite, the outplay! Beautiful play there by the Ari. Cleans up the Volibear. Charm may land onto Jinky Toast, trying to run back to the turret, but you are just... Oh, gets the heal off of the ultimate. However, there are still 2 there. Evelyn tries to steal the kill, secure the kill with the ultimate, but Pantheon gonna get credit for that one as Bananas continues to go bananas, 7, 2, and 1. But as we also talked about, the power from the Jaggernauts is really more in their group power rather than the individual playing. However, Sasha Hyena, very low, nice move from the Janna, starting the Monsoon, pushing Killer Kung backwards. However, he's doing a ton of damage, forces the flash out from the Ashe as well, and that's both summoners down on the Ashe again, who've just been consistently down this whole game.
Evelyn camping top once again. She's been up here 3 or 4 different times and really giving support to her most ahead member. Not sure if that's necessarily the best call.
Killer Kung goes in once again, gets the full grenade down on Vendetta Ressa, putting her very low health, still down half farm, 107 on the Tristana, 55 on that Ashe. And Killer Kung now pushes a huge wave of minions underneath the turret. Ashe wanting to be able to get there and clear it up. Blind from Sasha Hyena as she flashes in to get that, as well as the ignite. But nice shift from Janet gets alive for a moment. But the Ari's here to clean it up. And now Straight Jacket is in a bunch of pain. Nice tornado stops the Persona advantage for a moment. One more tower shot. Should be able to get it. And Janet gets credit with that exhaust as well. Mushrooms from the Teemo slowing down the Volibear and Vigar as they try to come in and return kills in the bottom lane. But not gonna happen. Tristana does fall though.
Yes, shutting down the Tristana is always a good thing. she's one of those champions you do apply the term hyper carry to, that when she gets far enough ahead, she has enough range and enough mobility and deals enough consistent damage in order to be considered someone who can solo take over a game. That's what hyper carry means. Tristan is definitely capable of doing it.
It's gonna take a little bit of damage.
Yeah, Tristana is definitely capable of doing that,
Oh,
especially
triple tentacles onto Bananas, but I don't know if the damage is going to be enough. It puts him very low. However, the tentacle's not there. Bananas way too far ahead at this point in the game, and he is just carrying hard. A nice charm. Ayla, with a really good ward, is just constantly landing these skill shots on the Merciful Jesus around the corner. His Vigar having trouble now in that mid lane. He is still 10 farm up, but a bunch of kills down and a bunch of gold behind, I believe, when it comes down to, yeah, about 500 gold behind the Ahri. So slowly losing that lane. And Bananas actually leaves the turret up. Oh no, he goes back into clear. Okay. I was wondering if he left the turret up just to allow her to come back into lane so he can kill her again. But it looks like he will just go ahead and clear that. He has his teleport ultimate available and could use it to engage across the map. More than likely in the mid lane.
Yes, most likely. He's actually responsible for getting Ahri ahead, and then she just tosses down the charm and a little bit more. Pretty, looking like she's going to go in. Oh,
nice damage down, and Veneressa has not died yet. However, still taking turret shots. Uses the ult to get to safety for a moment on a killing spree now. Beautiful play onto the Ashe, and once again backs into her favorite push of the game. Just playing it safe, waiting for an opportunity to jump on the straight jacket as this game is entirely in the hands of Calamity right now. Really going to go in, get the charm onto the Janna, trying to pull her out from underneath the turret. She's going to start the tornado, but it's going the opposite direction of the turret, and that's going to be the last grenade. Goes over to Tristana. Killer Kong now moves in to clear up that turret. So now that we're out of laning phase, is the opportunity for Team Jaggernauts to group. They're very far behind, but the Volibear 4-0-1 is the saving grace. He deals decent damage. He's going to be a huge tank, going to be able to push down that front line and engage on the enemy team, but he needs the rest of the team to follow up, and they're going to have to play very, very smart as a team in these grouping situations. Otherwise, it could still continue to snowball in Calamity's favor.
Indeed. Roaming always goes in the favor of Calamity in this, in this situation. Pantheon is probably the best and the original roamer. I don't know if anybody's still around who remembers when Pantheon's ultimate used to be a true global. However, they cut that down by a ton of range. It's still a very potent roaming machine.
Oh,
hold on, this looks like
massive damage from Ahri, just going to assassinate Vigar. And she just continues to, oh, good damage on the Selec as well. Play into Vigar feeling safe by putting down that stun. And then as soon as he puts it down, she knows that she's not going to be able to be hit by it and just goes all in to deal that damage. And at this point, 5-2-1 with that Luden's Echo being able to finish him off in one full combo. Yeah,
at this point, what hold on, more engaged.
Ooh, nice heal from Janna, keeps the Ashe alive for the moment, but Sashayana steals it away with a blinding dart. Ayla not able to get the credit kill for that one. However, set it up nicely with that charm and the ignite damage. Oh, Merciful Jesus maybe being caught out here. I think he teleported into the mid lane, but is going to be picked off. Salic now going in hard. However, hitting behind enemy lines, going to pick off the Janna fishing members. And Volibear gets his 5th kill of the game. However, will he die? He flashes to safety, does get charmed up. He's healing with the passive. Tosses the Ahri, gets this slow down, but unable to get the full kill. And Evelyn ults her way back into the jungle to just go right back to farm.
Yeah, this is definitely looking like a snowball game. It's moving rapidly in the favor of the team with Tristana for late game and the Fed Assassins. Oh, God. So, Vigar, while he does scale well, what he needs to be doing in this lane right now is that Ahri has realized he needs to recognize the pattern that's going on here, and Jake pointed it out very aptly. Vigar drops the stun. If it hits on Ahri or if it misses, it doesn't particularly matter because she always goes in right after the stun is dropped, because his only method of counterplay to ignore her ultimate or really save himself from her hard engage is that stun. If he drops the stun, then she can just basically do whatever she wants. That added mobility making it quite easy for her to dodge his heavy damage skill shots. Dark Matter hits like a train, but it also moves like a very slow
Pantheon
train.
execution. Sorry, Vendetta Ressa. Nice attempt at the flash. We flashed right across the pit, straight into the waiting hands of the Pantheon as he comes raining death from above into the bottom lane. Ari's gonna go in, but I can't see it actually because Baron is spawning, and I switched over. Then Tristana picks up the kill on the Veigar. This is why I shouldn't be as fancy in my graphics. But they engage in the bottom lane. Rift Herald has been spawned as well, looking to push down the bottom tier turret. They may be able to take it with the last of the damage from the Rift Herald. Nice Janus shield to slow it down, but they're still poking away on it. Salad trying to heal up off the passive. Vendetta Ressa comes in to clear up the Rift Herald, but the damage has been done. The turret is already gone. Open inhibitor for Jaggernauts in the bottom lane.
Yep, the open inhib, especially the bottom inhib in some ways is the most valuable one to take because the super minions that are spawned in that lane are the farthest possible from the Baron pit. So if they can come to the bot lane after recalling and buying items, they did just crush down 3 turrets, so they have a decent amount of gold in their inventory. Ari, I'm not sure if this is... Hold on. Oh, wait.
The Evelyn here for the assist as well. Ultimate from Janna trying to slow them down, but they're going to be able to pick up 2. Janna almost goes down as well. Nice hop from Salak. Pretty slowed out. She's going to jump in, use the ultimate, but Janna's shield saves her. Now Pretty on the run. Salak going to be able to at least stop the engagement. This one throws down the ultimate, trying to get some damage. Continues to chase in, but Ari's here as well as the charm. Going to go in for the damage. And Lowy's here, uses the ultimate, trying to slam down Veigar around the corner as well. The Volibear has fallen, but so has Pretty. Alawi picks up the first kill of the game, or second kill. Sorry, I forgot that she got in that kill very early on. But gets the shutdown gold on that Evelyn. Now 6-1 and 3.
But as I was saying, the bot lane tower in some ways is the most important one from app because it pulls your adversary away from there, and Merciful Jesus is just going to get killed, but that's Veigar right there. Just press his 3 buttons and you're dead. That's
one of the small advantages that Team Jaggernauts actually has in being the small chance to come back into this game is that execute opportunity from the Veigar, as well as that frontline tank of Volibear. If they stall out the game long enough for Alawi to get back to being tanky, they stall long enough for Veigar to be able to get some of these one-shots and make some of these fights that could be 5v5 very quickly 4v5s, there's a small chance that they could come back into this game, but they have to play it right.
Indeed, there's always a chance of a comeback, but they do have a little bit of a hill to climb in those terms. Let's take a look at the CS right now. It's 106 to 173, getting close to a flame horizon out of this, and Alawi's dead again. Hold on, are we going to see, I was going to say, are we going to see some crazy 1v4 type thing? But it doesn't look like it. Ari goes down fairly simply. The new CC from Warwick, bear version of Warwick.
Yeah, this Pantheon is pretty unstoppable at this point. Oh, blast kill from Merciful Jesus saving him for the moment. However, the Pantheon's still going to get the kill on that one. Volibear here also cleaned 4 members. Going to be cleaned up. The ace comes down from Pretty, and they're going to now move in through the bottom lane to get that inhibitor. Pantheon splits to the top lane. Oh, I'm just kidding. He is waiting. Tristan is pushed through the mid lane. And it still looks like it's Team Calamity's game, even if they're taking a little longer than what we might have expected to finish off with them being so far ahead. But they're just going to grab some extra kills onto Alawi as she's underneath her own turret. Nana's getting a nice shield as well. They're going to move in to try to get some damage on the turret, but the Nana's been left chunked out pretty heavily. He's going to be forced to back off here for a moment. Goes back in underneath the turret. Doesn't go down. Very low health, though. The flash from Killer trying to get away from the turret. Evelyn's behind enemy lines. They haven't even taken down the inhibitor in the bottom lane. They're just assassinating people behind their own turrets. Clearing up the inhibitor. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that, yeah, they're managing to finally clean up that bottom inhib, and what they need to do is use it as a pressure point for the Baron take they should have in the works right now, unless of course they manage to kill Merciful Jesus and Salek. At that point they could probably just end the game.
Yeah, those two members, there they go, clearing both of them up, putting back into the ace position, just clearing all the members of Team Jaggernauts as they leave the turrets. Killer Kong has plenty of attack power to be able to take anyone out. Straight Jacket, very low health grenades, going to finish her off, and Ressa being able to charm up as well as cleared away with the last of the orb from Ayla. And I misspoke, as Straight Jacket was able to use the shield keep herself alive, and Sasha Hyena pushing down this huge minion wave in the mid lane. Pantheon says, I'll start with the minions that are already here, tanking it up. Jinky Toast taunted, but just going to go back to farming, has the charm onto Janna. She flashed in, trying to get the W slow onto the Ahri, seeing if that's enough damage to finish her off, but she is just too darn fast and doesn't get touched by it with a nice charm.
Yeah, so it looks like the mid lane inhib is going to fall as well. And let's take a look at the Drake that's on tab really quick. And it looks like it's going to be an Ocean Drake, so nothing of high priority. Definitely when you're this far ahead, you want to see the Infernal or the Mountain. However, the Ocean Drake better for sieging. Holy crap, bananas.
Bananas doing literally bananas amounts of damage. Takes out the one tanky member on Team Jaggernauts. Now, to be fair, he only got a Spirit Visage, which is a little more magic resist than armor. And Pretty moves in 1v4. Nice ultimate gets her out for the moment. Doesn't get the stun down either, and avoids hitting anything on the way out. I almost spoke there and said that she avoids the Teemo Mushroom. And, flashes in, gets the Ash down, throws out those impaling spikes, only going to spell potentially her own doom, though, as Alawi misses the slam, but gets the auto attack to finish her off. Grades her life 1 for 2 in an extended trade.
Yeah, 1 for 2 definitely would, especially if you're in the advantageous position and your enemy team can't really effectively clear the minion waves. What they need to do now is set up vision in the top side jungle around red buff and that banana brush there, and then bait the Baron or take the Baron depending on how their enemy team responds to their absence in the Fog of War. However, just trying this beat it down mid type thing is not working as well as it could. Alternately, they could try and triple inhib and just end that way. However, the Baron is the safer call at this point, and they have so much pressure on the map with supers in 2 lanes.
Bull there from behind does get a toss onto the Ahri, however, charmed up and Bananas moving in. He's trying to get tanky though. Is it going to be enough? Starts the ultimate, Alawi and Ash here for the support damage. However, Killer Kong is just crazy at this point. 3 items up and 8 kills, 3 deaths. Does massive amounts of damage, and that's enough to scare Jaggernauts off from pushing out of their base any further.
Jaggernauts won't be able to contest for this Baron, and as much as Ahri likes to kill people, you think she'd go for an objective. League of Legends is a game of objectives, not a game of kills necessarily. And while it is 45 to freaking 13, with almost a 20,000 gold lead, it's time to make use of that gold lead and actually end the game rather than just squatting on it. As much fun as that can be, of course. You know, it always feels great feeling like you're on top of the world and you've got all of the money in the game and all of the items and damage.
There we go. This is the fancy. I had to jump between the cameras to figure out which one I wanted to use, but you actually get to see a pretty cool shot of everyone running around the base as they're all looking for anyone to engage upon, and it looks like Alawi's being jumped upon by the team of Sasha Hayden, getting a little bit of damage there. Pretty doing what she can around the side. They are slowly sieging in onto these Nexus turrets. As we said, it's mostly a matter of time until Bananas goes in, clears up the Ash. Gonna take out that top inhibitor as well. The ZZ Rock portal is down. Now they're looking for that first Nexus turret. Janet continues to shield it up, protecting it. It's very low health. The siege minions are on it. However, the rest of the minions from red team are there trying to slow the siege minion down. Ult goes down onto Killer Kong, gonna take him out. Bottom lane inhibitor falls as well, and Calamity have done nothing but stall, finishing this game off, which is giving Jaggernauts the slow opportunity. Something to keep in mind as well. Oh, as the Merciful Jesus flashes as well as cleanses to get out of that one, but it may still go down. Looks like they're down to the tower safely. Janna's gonna fall in instead. However, he's very low health. Polar Bear cleans that one up and moves in. The Nexus turret has still yet to fall as Polar Bear chases in, flips Bananas back. He may go down. The legendary Pantheon falls. Sasha Hyena on the run. Sala continuing trying to chase down, but with that mushroom slow, looks like they will back off. And once again, go back to defending. The minion waves are continuing to flow into Jaggernaut. Sasha Hyena flashes in to grab the kill with the ignite on the Ash. And now the heal onto Salek from the dead Janna. Merciful Jesus trying to finish off. The Teemo gets good damage, but not enough to take him down. Jicky Toast comes back from the fountain looking for the hook. We'll get a little bit of damage on the Test of Spirit, but Ari, despite slowed, should be able to make it out just fine. And the waves continue to flow in for Jaggernaut to continue to get farm, which is really nice for them because it's the one thing they've been missing much of this game.
Yeah. What? Hold on a second. Sorry, I was zoned out there for a second. Anyway, so it looks like in the mid lane right now, you've got both of these turrets at half health. While Merciful Jesus is on its hyper-scaling champion, they do have to be careful of this clock that they're on right now. If Merciful Jesus continues getting this much CS, and yes, it does look like they're going to burst down the Baron really rapidly, and that should spell an end of the game. Triple inhibs on top of double super minions is pretty much always the end of the game, especially considering the Dedaressa is almost 100% to 0 by a Shroom. Look at that HP. Speaking of which, Sasha Hyena walking into the mid lane and 1v1ing Merciful Jesus, walking back and forth, showing off the fancy feet, dodging the skill shots, and killing his opponent. Salek caught out and way too far forward. Killer Kung has managed to get the reset, and it looks like he's going to be able to come forward. He's going to get the bomb, but Janna saves Lowy and then ends up sacrificing her life for it. And Ari goes onto the fountain, ending the game with Ash's death.
Yeah, Ari gonna finish it off, cleaning up the Ash and the rest of the team. Bananas especially moves in to clear up the Nexus, claiming victory, over Team Jaggernauts. 53 kills to 17, 4-6 on that Pantheon. So as I was saying in the chat very quickly is that, guys, I will never say that you absolutely have to play a game out. It's always enjoyable as a viewer audience that a game gets played all the way to completion, but sometimes it really is up to the team. I always recommend playing it all the way to a finish for streamer experience because I'm the one who's shoutcasting it, and I like to see a game go all the way to the end. Kind of like why you see LCS pros, they don't ever surrender. But at the same time, it is a custom game, and there are always extenuating circumstances. So I'm not going to make an absolute rule that if you play on the stream, you have to play all the way through. I'm not going to do that. So I love all the chatting though, guys. I love the everyone being active in the chat. It's really cool to see. So keep it up. And I'm just filling time waiting for the stats to pop up.
Indeed. But unfortunately, Bananas said, look at damage dealt in the late game, and he wasn't first. He was second, beaten out by Ari.
Beaten out by Ari? Oh!
Feels bad, man.
Anyway. Not that much.
Couple of thousand.
Yeah, about 3,000. Almost 3,000 exactly. Just snuck into the lead. I wonder when that occurred, because early game I'd still give it massively over to Pantheon, but late game I think landing all of those spirit orbs through the enemy champions And even Foxfire, when it stacks up that damage, can really burst somebody down. But let's go ahead and roll through the MVPs and honorable mentions to get into our third and final game of the night.
All right, so for MVPs and honorable mentions, we're going to go first with the losing team, Team Jaggernauts. Honorable mention goes over to Merciful Jesus. He was winning his lane very hard in the early game, despite being in a matchup where he really shouldn't have been able to win that matchup. Vigar, not exactly what you call a lane bully, whereas Ari can be if she lands her charm. Merciful Jesus was dodging out on the charms and laying down the good damage onto the Ari winning lane. Unfortunately, Bananas got fed and then came mid, and that was all she wrote. So I give him honorable mention for excellent in-lane play. Had there not been interference from outside, say top lane goes even or doesn't have a chance to roam, I think Merciful Jesus wins that lane, hits 6, and gets a kill onto Ari. However, be that as it may, Bananas came in and assisted, getting the Ari incredibly fed. So for the first place, the MVP, the coveted spot, I'm going to give that over to Salek, formerly Keldoran. Salek managed to move in the jungle very well, showing up in a couple of lanes, managing to execute a killer gank in the top lane on the overextended Bananas, one of the few kills that managed to be gotten down onto that champion. He also executed other ganks all over the map and managed to get himself fairly far ahead, considering the state in which his team was. So all in all, he was the brilliant and shining bear-shaped light for his team until somebody pulled the shades, most likely Bananas. Anyway, so over to the winning team, Team Jaggernauts. I'm going to give the honorable mention over to... I think I'll give that over to Aliyah for the Ari play. Not so much for that early game, but more toward the late game. She really just kind of took over, not feeding over any more kills, despite not playing the cleanest laning phase. She did manage to, once having a lead, ended up snowballing that, but without making too many stupid mistakes, which is something you see people get drunk on power. It's like, I'm an ADC, but I can 1v5, but you're an ADC and you die in 2 hits. I don't care. I'm going to tumble into the Syndra. Yeah. So don't get drunk on power and commit suicide, and Aliyah didn't, managing to pull off some good play, recognizing when Vigar's stun was down and capitalizing on the lead she got from Bananas roams.
Yeah,
speaking of which, that is going to be our next MVP, Bananas.
So shocked.
Yeah. Really putting the game on his shoulders, getting a massive lead for himself as Pantheon in the top lane, and playing Pantheon as you really should, roaming around the map and getting other lanes ahead, because even though this game didn't last all that long, you could already see Aliyah started to out-damage Bananas in the late game. Which just tells you how hard Pantheon does fall off. Despite having a 17-4 kill score and 200 farm, he was still dealing less than his mid laner, who was substantially far behind him in both kills and money. So, but props to him for having the presence of mind at 6 to come mid and undo all of the damage that Merciful Jesus had done. All right.
I'm being told to check out the vision score from the losing team. That they... Oh, wait, that's Asha on the Teemo, which from the winning team. Yeah, purchased 0 control wards the entire game long. Not one purchased any control wards for a blue team. But I wanted to give a huge shout out to Pretty on the Evelyn for making some really good plays bottom lane. Not only showing up the right time, playing whether in the mid lane or pushing behind the turrets, but being unafraid to dive past the turret and get some kills between the turrets as well, twice using that bush in there to recall safely. And so being unafraid to go very, very aggressive in that bottom lane and make sure that while top, obviously Bananas was doing just fine, mid lane was being helped out by Bananas, go ahead and push the bottom lane as well so that everyone across